Hey, everybody. Today, we are going to dive into something so many of us wrestle with, that feeling of never quite being good enough. That voice inside that tells us we need to prove ourselves, achieve more, or fix what feels wrong. Here's the truth: your worth isn't tied to external validation or accomplishments. You knew that. And astrology can help us see this very clearly. Your birth chart reveals your unique gifts and your rhythms, not standards you have to meet. I'm Self Carey, your astrological life and career coach and counselor. I'm here to help you reconnect with your worth and to align you with your true life path through the wisdom of planetary timing. Welcome to Waking Up to Your Worth, where we use astrology, psychology, neuroscience, and real world life strategies to reclaim the parts of ourselves that got lost in the system. In today's episode, I want to show you how two recent astrological transits are causing us to let go of societal ideas of success and embrace our own individual ideas. Have you noticed this? There are two astrological transits that took place recently that are letting us know why this is the moment we were meant to let the need to be good enough go away for good. That first transit is Pluto and Aquarius. I know you've heard about this if you pay attention to astrology at all. Pluto will be going through the sign of Aquarius from 2023 to 2043. Okay. Now, Pluto's very slow, intense transformation in Aquarius challenges societal expectations and invites us into deeper inner authenticity, right? That's that Pluto energy paired with that Aquarius innovative energy. This transit encourages the shedding of the need for external approval and fitting in so you can embrace your unique worth. This is why we are starting to wake up to that right now as a collective. The other transit that we are experiencing at the same time is Chiron and Aries, which came in 2018 and will be with us until next year, 2026. Chiron is an asteroid and it's called the wounded healer. And when Chiron is in Aries, this calls us to heal wounds around self identity and courage, bravery, helping you to release feelings of not good enough and step into true self acceptance. So, do you see how these two transits are kind of helping each other and bring about what we're seeing globally and personally as this need to let go of those old patterns of thinking we weren't good enough? Right now, with Pluto moving through Aquarius, we're collectively invited to break free from outdated shoulds about who we're supposed to be. And Chiron being in Aries is nudging us to heal the core wounds or heal the core wounds that we have around self-worth and courage with bravery, making this an incredible moment to let go of trying to be good enough by outside standards and instead claim your inherent value. So let me share with you a personal story about when I was caught in this loop of chasing perfection and hypervigilance and chasing approval, and how tuning into my astrological chart's energy and my nervous system helped me to shift out of that. When I started to recognize this energy for me, it was at a time in my life when I had done something really drastic. I had been obese for most of my life. But at that period, I drastically changed my nutrition, my activity, and my spirituality. And I lost over 125 pounds, which I have kept off ever since. And it took me a little over a year to do that. But when I was kind of at the 90-pound mark, and I had experienced a lot of changes at that point. I had changed my clothes, my face had changed, my feet were a different size, like my fingers, like everything was already really different at 90 pounds lost. I had this rhythm of, my spirituality, my nutrition, my athletics, to be gradually losing weight. But one day I had just eaten lunch and I was putting away food in like leftover containers. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I said out loud, I'm just so tired of trying. I stopped at the word trying. Why? Because I grabbed a bag of tortilla chips and I started shoving them into my mouth. It was like I knew that if I didn't shove them in my mouth, that I was going to not do it. It's like, it was almost like them into my mouth was like a release from some sort of trap that I had created for myself. Okay. I shoved those chips into my mouth and then I continued out the door where I shoved fruit from various trees into my mouth. I went to the grocery store where I bought a bunch of groceries and shoved them into my mouth. Then I went to restaurants and shoved them into my mouth. Like it was just, it was, I was on autopilot. I was not in the building. And in about 3 weeks, I was able to get myself back on track. But I remember that being a really rough 3 weeks because I was truly dumbfounded as to why I had done that. And it's really hard to get yourself back to something like when you don't know why you did it in the first place, you know? And so those words were haunting me. I'm just so tired of trying. I didn't know how to ward that off at the pass because I didn't know how I'd gotten there in the first place. How had I gotten to the point of I'm just so tired of trying and then shoving chips into my mouth? So I didn't know what that meant. But years later, I got it. Years later, I had reached most of the goals in my life. And yet I was still performing for happiness. I had was the size that I wanted to be. I had finished school. I was working. I had created my own business. I was in a loving relationship. I had all of the, kind of like trappings of success from the outside, even though there was a lot that was not going on the inside in that relationship, in with that job, with that business, and even with my body. I felt empty. I looked good on the outside, but I was deeply emotionally unfulfilled on the inside. I can say that now. I could not have said that then. I did not know that was going on then. Um, that was the moment that I could finish that sentence. I realized I was tired of trying to be good enough. I was tired of trying to be good enough. I wanted off the hamster wheel, and I thought the quickest way to that was shoving some tortilla chips into my mouth. That's when I started learning psychology, Buddhist psychology, astrology, neuroscience, like all of these things helped me. And all of these different esoteric arts, but also neurological practices, like I started combining them all. And they all helped me get to the next phase. But that shock, that initial shock of like, I'm trying I'm just so tired of trying to be good enough. That stays with me even today. And so when these transits came in, these astrological transits, I'm like, oh, I know what that is. I know I know what time it is. It's time to release that. So what's the first step of letting go of the need to be good enough? Do you have to go learn astrology? Do you have to go learn Buddhist psychology? Do you have to get all the certificates? Do you have to do all the things that I did? No, no. The first step to letting go of this was awareness. And so being aware that that's what you're trying to do, you're trying to be good enough. I began noticing how I talked to myself, how I thought every problem somebody had on the street was my problem, or they were expecting me to fix it. I noticed how I felt blamed all the time. It was hard for me to take criticism. All of that was about me thinking that I wasn't good enough. And so anything was a trigger that triggered that negative thinking in myself. It wasn't just about noticing how I was talking to myself, it was also noticing how I was embodying this. How was I breathing? Was I breathing at all? You know? I took time to take deep breaths and to savor air. I grounded myself into my body. I felt the wind. Learning astrology helped me because I could tell when it was time to charge forward and when it was time to honor my cycles of growth and rest. So, no fixing, no proving, just holding space for myself with kindness. Have you ever had a I'm tired of trying to be good enough moment? Please let me know in the comments. I love reading them. Remember, your worth is intrinsic. It's who you are, not what you do. I'm saying this to myself as much as I'm saying it to you. I invite you to begin waking up to your worth today with that simple understanding that it's time to let go of trying to be good enough. And the planets are helping us right now. If this landed for you, please like this video, please subscribe to this channel, and share it with someone that you love. And if you're curious about what your birth chart says about your self-worth and your psychological patterns, I'd love to support you. You can book a one-on-one astrology reading or sign up for weekly or monthly astrological coaching with me. All the links to that are in the description box below. I'll see you next time on Waking Up to Your Worth.